This is the border between Kenya and Somalia. Now, we can't show you this for security reasons, but either side of this border is a pretty substantial security setup, and that has only grown in size and scrutiny in the aftermath of the Westgate attack in Nairobi. But this isn't the only route into Somalia. Hacked out of the undergrowth, this is where traffic flows. The Panya routes, so-called rat routes, used by smugglers to cross back and forth undetected. Branching brazenly off from the government roads, there's certainly a smoother ride, in spite of the Kenyan government's efforts to beef up border security. Up through these smugglers' routes, we've managed to enter Somalia from Kenya without any checkpoints, without being asked for ID, without seeing any sort of government presence. Night falls and it's rush hour on the Panya routes. People and goods ferried back and forth. Everyone is too afraid to stop for long here, even to help the stranded families we see along the way. Many are escaping the uncertainty back home in Somalia, but some are seeking to enter Kenya undetected for their own ends. The Panya routes end in the Dadaab refugee camp, currently the target of the Kenyan government's post-Westgate anger. Authorities believe that during the build-up to Westgate, Al-Shabaab operatives traveled from Somalia through the Panya routes and hid among the refugees in the camp. And it's from there that Kenyan authorities say that they and other undocumented people made their way through government checkpoints and deeper into Kenya, often hiding in plain sight. This is one of the public buses plying their trade on the road between Dadaab and the Kenyan capital. We wanted to see for ourselves how this works, so we board one of the buses and ask the conductor about the fare. He gives us a price. We say we don't have documentation, and the price goes up, from about $12 for both of us to $230. The conductor says it will buy me and my companion the use of fake Kenyan IDs and a safe trip. Don't worry, he says. You're not alone. We count out the cash and he hands us IDs from a stash he's been handing out through the bus. That's all it takes. We don't need the IDs, but others on the bus do. As we arrive at Garissa, the main town in northeastern Kenya, we're told to line up at the checkpoint. Just out of the hidden camera's view, security officers scrutinize thumbprints with the help of a magnifying glass, comparing them to the IDs, fake or real. We overhear a woman take a Kenyan police officer aside. Bluntly, she tells the officer she has no valid papers. All the passengers, including the woman with no documentation, are waved back onto the bus to continue their journey to the country's capital. I show my official papers and join them. The Kenyan government has now signed an agreement with Somalia, hoping to clear Dadaab by voluntarily repatriating its residents. But will that be enough to protect Kenya? Ne'em Al-Bagher, CNN, Nairobi, Kenya.